So what we did with the suspension? Well, practically we rewrote the suspension equations and code from scratch, or almost from scratch, especially the stuff that automatically calculates the window of the bump stops in comparison to the suspension. So as you know, the suspension moves up and down, and at some point it hits the bump stop either up or down in compression or in rebound. Now, we found out, mainly by working on the GT4s, we found out that something was fishy and something wasn't calculated always correctly. And that could provoke the suspension to be locked into the down bump stop at occasion, or the telemetry showing that is not touching yet the bump stop, but in reality was touching the bump stop. It wasn't happening always. It would happen sometimes. It would happen on some cars. It would happen when you would modify the setup, but we didn't know exactly when it was happening. We had no idea actually ourselves. So everything was, looking correct, but sometimes it wasn't working correct. So most of these 500, what is going on, guys? I mean, amazing. Thank you so much. So I don't know. I don't know what is going on. Are the cars now better than the real cars? Yes, of course. All right. So, guys, take it easy because you are spamming the channel and it's not really nice. So, all right. So what was happening? As I said, some of those things were actually hidden by the fact that GT3 cars have a lot of downforce, and so it wasn't showing properly. While working on the GT4 cars that they have much less downforce, some of those things were actually coming into the surface, and they were making us scratch our heads and what was happening. We weren't really happy with what was happening. So search here, search there, doing various verifications. We found out that something was not good. So we started rewriting with Fernando the whole thing. Oh, thank you so much, Rosso Sim Racing. Thank you so much for your support in the tenor. So we were trying to understand what was happening, and we found out that actually the bump stop movement together with the suspension when we were changing the setup was not always accurate. So we said, you know what, we have to find out what's going on. And probably, I say probably because we're not 100% sure, but we are pretty confident. That was also the case for some of your setups that would break the suspension when you were moving the sliders way too fast. So what is happening now is that if you go into the mechanical grip, you will notice that the bump stops are much more precise, and they remain in a much better. They are controlled in a much better way. So yeah, so this is mainly what we did. Now, this is all theory. Okay, so what is in practice the actual situation? What happened? Well, what happened is that now the suspension moves better. And not only it moves better, but to also help it move even better, we now simulate helper springs. So what is helper springs? So as I said, we now simulating two springs. We have the main spring that you can see here in the wheel rate, okay? And now we have also those small little springs that they are called helper springs, and they help actually the suspension to rebound down, even if it is completely without any weight. So they help the suspension go down to the actual end of the bump stop in extension. So as I said, all that stuff makes the suspension work much better. The movement of the suspension now is different. It is better. Okay, it is smoother, and it absorbs better the loads, the various suspension movements, the curbs. You will feel quite a difference in the curbs. Thank you. Okay, so too much talking. Let's first show you how the car reacts on the curbs differently than what it was before, and how the cars are more stable and what you can do. All right, so let's go for a ride. Okay.
Give it all you can.
Absolutely. Soul Survivors asks, does the new suspension model affect telemetry in the Motec? Absolutely. You will see the suspension moving better, and you will have also better control of the dampers because of that. So you can work better with the dampers. Sebastian, thank you so much. All right, so let's go. You see how I can now go over the... First of all, I have more control over the car. You can see that I can walk the car and the car reacts better. So you are on the limit, but you have a little bit more window to work with the car on top of the limit, all right? So you see how the car follows very well the asphalt here and my inputs. And it still has it still has, I still have cold tires right now. So look at that, over the curb, no big deal. It absorbs the curbs much better than before. So look here, let's go up here, no issues, you see? I mean, you can feel it, and you can also feel many things moving on the suspension. There is a little bit more resolution, let's say, on the first feedback, but the car handles the curbs much better. It absorbs the suspension, works with the curb, and it keeps you on the road. It's much more stable than before. Look at that, boom, boom, over here. You see how it absorbed everything. Wow, what is coming? Thanks, Mickey Pepsi. Wow, what is that? I don't know what kind of... Jesus, unbelievable. Black BMW Volkenwurst. I'll ask the skin guys. So as you can see, still the tires are not so hot, but you can see how the car reacts very nicely over the curbs. I cannot drive and read the chat, guys. You are so many, and the chat is exploding right now. We are over 700 concurrent viewers. I don't know what to say. Another one, Ivan. What you guys are doing? Are you crazy? I mean, come on. Well, thank you, guys. Rework the sound of the AMG. You have to say that to Luca Sodano, who is our sound engineer, but I think it's really great, to be honest. I mean, the sounds of Assetto Corsa, I mean, come on, guys. It's industry leader right now in the sounds. Look at this. Look at that now. Get the curb there, get the curb here. Even at the entry of this turn, that you always have a little bit of, instability, you can still, work with the car, whoop, like that, and still maintain control. It's obviously, you have to be very fast, you have to work hard, but you can do it. We keep climbing. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now, Vision Slayer says, so I'm trying to do, oh my god, I'm trying to do Nürburgring chicane here and reading on the chat. This is really difficult. So, said the aggressive setups have changed. We have went through all the setups, as many as we can. We still have some of them we need to redo, but we have worked on as many setups as possible, and we will keep on working for the, for the 1.4 to update as many cars, if not actually all of the cars. We have to update all of the cars for the new suspension and everything. Now, in a minute, I will also tell you what to do with your old setups, okay? So that they work as good as possible. Jean, Gabriel, thank you so much, mate. So you can see how uh, the Audi, which was one of the most critical cars over the curbs, is now absorbing extremely well the curbs. Obviously, you have to work with the car. It's not like, oh, I'm over the curbs and nothing happens. But it's not a death trap, as we say, anymore. So this is one of the things that we have worked on, and I think everybody will try it. Of course, some people will instantly be very happy about it. Some people will need some extra time, to understand the changes. But in the end, we're pretty confident that everybody will be very, very satisfied about this. Look at that! Boom, boom, down again. Nice, right? I mean, let's see that in a replay. I mean, it's really worth it, I believe. Let's go here and let's watch the car from the outside. Any more Evos planned? Well, not for now. We are absolutely focused on the GT4s right now. Suspension, yes. Actually, you probably. So, Soul Survivor asks. Actually, did you saw that guy? Sorry. I mean, look how the car reacts here. Let's do this. Let's go into the car and move outside like this, and let's see how the car reacts. I think you're really gonna like this. Oops. Like this. Okay. All right, let's go. Look at the suspension. Boom. 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 This is really, really cool. Well, actually, Semba asked, with this patch, should we expect slower or faster lap times? This is an interesting question. From our testing, we believe that aliens will be more or less doing the same lap times. We haven't really seen any improvement in lap times from the aliens. They are pretty much at the same conditions. They will probably improve as always, but we haven't seen any substantial improvement, if even worse. But we saw many normal drivers getting faster. So we think that the gap has a little bit closed between very, very fast alien lap times and normal people lap times, because normal people now can get closer to the limit, can drive more efficiently. So let's hope that is the case. I will be watching very, very closely on what you guys are saying and what lap times you are, doing about. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. So, as I said, suspension, new bump stop code, new helpers, springs. Those are fixed. You cannot change them, but they do make a difference, especially when the suspension goes in extension. You will notice a much better handling of the car into the curbs, into the Soul Survivor asked. Suspension is more realistic now. I think yes. I mean, we have fixed a bug that we had of the placement of the bump stop, that it was very tiny, but we couldn't understand where it was, and sometimes it was affecting the situation. And on top of that, we are now simulating the second set of springs that are in linear. They are called helper springs, and this also improves the suspension simulation. So, how to fix old setups? Very nice. Mikhail Dekanek says, how to fix old setup. So, here's the situation. Now, if you have an old setup, all right, what I advise you to do, I don't have any here. What I advise you to do is you load your setup, okay, you go into the aero, you do one click up and one click down. You will see here the base right here, the front elevation playing a little bit. You let it, stay calm. You will also see in the mechanical grip, maybe you have the suspension, moving like that a little bit. At some point, it will fix itself. This should be enough. You can go on the track and see how the setup works. It should be all the right heads should be resetted, and it should be on the proper right height that you expect from it to work. Now, in case this is not enough, because it might be that that doesn't fix it, and your setup was saved with an old version in a bad way and has become very unstable. This could be the situation. You could have an indication if you load your old setup and see that the suspension, so the yellow line on one side. Oh my God! Thank you so much, Sky194. Tender. Thank you so much for this. Um, and you see on one side the yellow line to be closer to the red line than on the other side, with every other thing being the same. So all the values are the same, left and right, but you see the telemetry not being equal. If that's the case, then something on that setup has gone wrong when you were saving it, with the old setup. I advise you to play a little bit with the wheel rate and the aerial ride heights, okay, and see if that fixes it. If it doesn't fix it, then you could go and open the setup. It's a JSON file. You can open it with how to say, with a notepad editor, with a text editor. Find the line that says road length and see if you have asymmetric values between the 0 and the 1 road length and the 2 and 3 road length. 0, 1 are the two fronts, 2 and 3 are the two rears. Maybe copy from 0 the 0 values to the 1 values and then load it again. It should be right. If you need help, write on the forums. I will be there to help you.